on to the bicycle master plan, consideration of additional comments with the board and staff. Stay here for this one. I can't. That's fine. Yeah, we had taken this discussion up, and in with us today is Mayor Joe Casona. He is the chair of WMAPCO, which represents Newcastle County and Cecil County. He's also the mayor of the town of Elkton here in Cecil County. And with him today is to meet Graham, a planner with WMAPCO, and Dave Gula, a planner with WMAPCO as well. I did speak to Mayor Casona yesterday on the phone, and he would like to join us at the table to discuss this. There seems to be a lot of disinformation and misinformation about the purpose of this plan, how it originated, what the goals and objectives are of this plan. So I would ask Chair Casona / Mayor of the town of Elkton and the two planners from WMAPCO to join us at the table, and you can share some information with us that you and I spoke about yesterday. And I'm not sure if you spoke to any of the rest of the members of the board, but we welcome you here today to help clear up any inconsistencies and misinformation that's out there regarding this initiative.
Okay, good morning, Mr. President, Commissioners. Thank you for this opportunity to try to clear up some misconceptions and how this thing all came about.
Sure.
I was concerned with the fact that I read about petitions online, and I think that they also don't know how this came about, because one of the petitions from the Patriots stating that the plan was initiated and formulated by bureaucrats. And the other one, the Campaign for Liberty, saying that they do not support Plan Maryland and SB Senate Bill 236. Well, let me say that, first of all, that it did not come about Plan Maryland, and it has nothing to do with SB 236. Some time ago, back in 2010, as vice chair of WMAPCO, WMAPCO was working on a bicycle plan for Wilmington. Mayor Barker had asked them to do a plan in Wilmington, and I thought that was a neat idea. I got thinking about Elkton and how we could try and get some people out on their bikes and move around the town of Elkton. So I requested staff if they would do a study and do one for the town of Elkton. And at the same time, at that meeting, I'd asked the president if I thought maybe the county might want to get involved with this as well. Well, the staff went ahead and proceeded with the town of Elkton's bicycle plan, and we adopted it in January 2011. It was also suggested that we might want to follow up with the rest of the towns to make a connection between all the towns. Thought that'd be a real nice little connection, you know, like ride the bicycles to each and every town to see the towns. Well, that progressed very well, and all 8 municipalities now have a bicycle plan. And then we wanted to get with the Cecil County to do it as well, because it would make it a complete loop all the way around. And I'm the one that actually initiated this whole plan. It did not come from any bureaucrats. If they want to call me that, that's fine. But that's my idea, and that's how I started it, and that's how it evolved up to your point where you have it right now. So we're looking to you people to see if you would approve the plan. I think it's a good plan, and there's a lot of things out there that you can get online as far as information. Literature is free. There's plenty of grants out there for trails, helmets, paths, lanes, many grants out there. And we also have initiated a bicycle committee, and I think the other towns have. And one of the other suggestions I made at the WMAPCO meeting was that we all get together, all the towns would get together, and commissioners here, we form one committee and have one representative from each town, and we get this put together and work together and make this a complete loop throughout the whole county. And that way each town would be represented. We'd all work towards the goal of getting grants or whatever we needed to make this work. And this was particularly my goal, is how to try to make this happen. So basically that's how it came about, that I initiated it from the one that WMAPCO started in Wilmington.
Can I say that being on the comprehensive plan, I know that we've incorporated that into our plan, and I researched it last night and was pleasantly surprised to see in how many different areas. And I think it's because it's recognized that livable, bikeable communities are, it adds the aesthetic of an area where you live, but it also provides tourism attractions as well. And I'll have something more to say on that, but I do support this plan. Just wanted to let you know that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to add as well, some of the comments that were made at the last meeting that suggested that this plan was developed inside of a vacuum. I just wanted to reiterate that that's not true. Over the last year, we've been working with a number of stakeholders at the state, county, and local level to develop this plan. There are also some misinformation out there that was saying that this plan did not have citizen support, and that was not true. There are citizens in this room actually that are in support of this plan, and they've been involved in the advisory committee from the beginning, and they are excited and in support of the plan. And this was not done in a vacuum.
Well, and I just wanted to add, Tony Giacomo, our principal planner in planning and zoning, actually chaired that committee to move this forward, to set up the stakeholder involvement. And I know that you folks have many open houses and received feedback. We had it on our county website, and as of yesterday, we received a letter of support from the town of Port Deposit, Mayor Tone. Also received a letter of support from Mary Ann DeSante. She's a council person in Hartford County. She's also executive director of the Lower Susquehanna Greenway. And my understanding is that the initial kickoff meeting, Ms. DeSante was there on behalf of Hartford County to see how they could interconnect with Cecil County over the Haven Bridge, you know, to bring some connectivity here. You know, I know that, Mayor, I was there at the meeting when you brought that idea moving forward, and then, you know, also spoke to me about it since I sit on the Wilmapco board representing the county. And, you know, I know you spent tireless hours once you got your plan adopted and it reached out to all the towns. So I appreciate you coming today, at least to give us your side of the story and dispel all this misinformation that's out there.
Well, you know, that's the job of WMACO, is all about transportation. And these two staff members do an excellent job on what they do. They know a lot about transportation, and just to throw a little bit in there, they're helping me get my train in Elton. So, I mean, they do know a lot about transportation, and that's what they're here for, to make it easier for people to move around.
I've had an opportunity to talk to a number of mayors about this, to understand the origin of it. As I read through, listened to the concerns, and read through the bicycle plan, there are some words in here that raise some red flags for all of us who are concerned about government intrusion on local government and local planning and land use. One of those words is sustainable, and that's one of those red flag words that's very, very concerning. But I did my homework on this issue. I talked to the mayors to understand what the origin is. Mayor Persona clearly said that the town of Elton's been working on this since early 2010, adopted it in January of 2011. The other towns have come alongside the town of Elton also in desire to do this. Some of the other concerns that were mentioned were costs associated with this. And Tamika, I remember asking you 2 or 3 meetings ago, you know, if there was any cost associated with this, and there absolutely is not. This is a choice, and clearly, as we talked about the many competing priorities that government has, you know, certainly roads and bridges and you know, those kinds of things are more important. But the other component of this, and I think that this is really important to remember, that our towns are sustainable communities within themselves. I mean, that's the reality. I mean, that we want, you know, walkable and rideable communities within those towns. I mean, that helps keeps cars off the road. It's not mandating it. And I can tell you that if I ever suspected that if this was bordering on, or even going anywhere near, some of the concerns of land use issues by either the state or federal government or the UN or any of those things, I would absolutely say no. But I feel like I've done my homework on this issue, and I feel very comfortable with this. This is a quality of life issue. For me, this pertains to economic development and being able to bring jobs to our communities. When employers are looking at places to have jobs and relocate their businesses or expand their businesses, they look at the quality of life for their employees, and I think this is a very important part of this. But fair warning, if this becomes onerous, or if we start seeing mandates on it, then I will pull my support. But however, I do support this now, and we're looking forward to working with the towns, to see the plan take place.
Well, just the other thing too, if anybody saw the news last night, it's a coincidence that they were talking about bicycling, and it has increased over the last few years of how many more bicyclists go on the road, and now most states are even initiating laws to protect the bicyclists. So it's a big activity out there right now.
Well, there's one of the things that that I recognize also is there's an education, very important education component in here, not only for bicyclists but for motorists, who bicyclists don't know the rules of the road and can create dangers, and so it then becomes a public safety issue. We have people that are potentially, riding bikes in areas that they shouldn't, and it's also an education issue for motorists who should understand if lanes are marked a certain way, that means they need to be aware of cyclists. So I see this as a benefit for public safety and human safety as well.
And it's very difficult to implement it after a lot of growth has taken place. You want to get this in as soon as possible so that you have coordination of growth amongst the different towns and the state and the county. I wanted to put on the record right now that our number 1 and number 3 transportation goals and objectives on the comprehensive plan provide a multimodal public transportation system, including road, rail, bus, pedestrian, and bicycle that meets the needs of residents and workers in terms of safety, mobility, and convenient access to everyday destinations. Number 3, develop US 40 into the county's primary business corridor, preserve capacity, maintain free traffic flow, enhance its visual appearance, expand transit and pedestrian and bicycle options. The comprehensive plan also included sections on bicycle and pedestrian facilities and bicycle improvement needs. The comprehensive plan recognizes the fact that we will have to coordinate planning with state highway and with future developers in the county to incorporate bike paths in new projects. The bicycle plan will provide direction for these future projects as well as allow the county and towns to apply for grants to assist with funding. And I think that's the key component here. If we don't have this plan, we can't apply for the grants to help pay for this.
And I like the idea what you talked about, the grants. If all 8 towns got together along with the county and applied for one grant, you know what I mean? It shows a lot of strength in the ranking process for the grants when you have 8 municipalities in the county on board. There's a lot of opportunity out there for that rather than depend on county or town's financing all project. From the start when you picked the ball up and started to move it forward, so to speak, at that meeting on this, and then you kind of got the pom-poms out to cheerlead for it, you know what I mean? And then now look at how far we've come with it, and Commissioner Jamel's point is it's already stitched into our county comprehensive plan, which was adopted in what, 2010, I believe?
Yes.
So it's been in there a while. It's just a matter of bringing it to fruition. Is there any other comments?
Mr. President, this is Robert Hodge again. I don't have any objection to bicycling. I don't have an objection to the plan itself. My problem is, and I have to say that Mayor Casona is right, that Will Mapco has done a great job of public involvement and input into the draft plan. Now that it's a final plan that has now been under our consideration, I think that we have skipped a couple steps on the education and approval process. And we haven't sold the final document. Now, we did a great job of getting to the final document, but I don't think that we go from a draft to a final and approve it the next day or the next week. And I believe that it deserves a public hearing. And at the end of the day, we hear the pros and the cons, and we make a judgment call. And we haven't heard the final say from the citizens. As a matter of fact, all of the citizen comments have been to WMACO and not to the county commissioners. And so I believe that we're skipping a step, and therefore I will not be supporting the adoption of the plan today. As I said before, I would be happy to support it if we went through the final process of approval in our normal standard way.
Can I ask, in the bicycle plan and our comprehensive plan, state highway weighed in also, on what roads need to be improved. That was all coordinated, to be consistent with the same areas.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Commissioner Hodge, I just wanted to reiterate again that throughout this process, we've actually had 11 different public meetings and workshops at the town level and also at the county level. We've hosted several workshops here at this very room that we're in right now. The draft document has been available for public comment since October. We also sent out articles in the Cecil and other sources. We've put out press releases. We've also advertised on the county's website, on WMACO's website. There's been ample opportunity for public to comment, not only on the draft document, but even up until the draft document. We've actually been using public input to inform how we put together the document as well. So I would say that the document that you have before you it's been commented on by the public, and if you refer to the appendix, we've also included several comment forms and field worksheets that we received from the public. And there's also a summary of different workshops that we've been to, and we've also summarized public comment that we've received from each of those meetings, and they're dated.
I know I've attended 3 of the workshops, and you held 2 briefings. Commissioner Hodge, is there anything that you could specifically say that you're concerned about?
Well, I don't, again, I think the plan is a reasonable plan. Now, I would certainly adopt the plan by resolution and make it clear that the bicycle path plan is not a priority in relation to other important matters before the county. I personally think that before we spend money on the bicycle plans, we need to be creating jobs, installing infrastructure. There's a whole lot of other things that are more important in my mind than bicycle paths, as far as the county is concerned. Now, I don't want to speak to the towns. The towns may rank the bicycle plan a much higher priority compared with some of their other challenges. But one of the concerns that I have is the adoption of the plan will create a need to spend money ahead of other priorities. And I think that one of the things that we need to do as the county, if we're going to adopt this plan, is to put it into perspective on all the issues that we face. The bottom line is, I don't believe that the citizens of Cecil County have been able to speak to this plan to the commissioners. Yes, Will Matthew certainly gave an opportunity for input in the drafting of the plan. Now we have a final plan. What we haven't done is listen to the county commissioners have not listened to the citizens on the pros and the benefits of this, or the pros and cons of this plan directly from the citizens of Cecil County.
Well, it's rolled into this document, and just because 2 people came to the meeting the other night and chose to lob scorn and insult Mayor Fasona and our board, I mean, I didn't know that those 2 people speak for the vast majority in this county. I mean, you've already heard that this organization had tremendous outreach to do this.
I never said that this is a bad plan, and I never said that 2 people speak for the citizens. You don't know what the citizens feel about this because the commissioners have not heard from the citizens on this plan.
I'll go to the appendix in this document. There's plenty that people had to say.
The county commissioners have not had a public hearing on this matter.
We had a formal presentation, and then 2 weeks later, we had another presentation. Come on.
Presentation by WMACO is not a public hearing.
Commissioner Hodge, I don't understand why you feel you have the pulse of the underground citizens that haven't yet been able to speak. And this is, the Patriots have been consistent in not getting or misrepresenting.
Point of order.
Pardon. Whoa,
We don't need to go there.
Whoa. Excuse me. This is the people that came out and spoke in opposition.
This is
Don't-
your opinion, Commissioner Bruno.
Commissioner
Let's speak to
Moore.
the
Let's
issue.
just we'll get back.
Excuse me. Let me finish.
This is
Excuse me.
This is not.
I'm gonna finish this is not the first time that the Patriots have misrepresented the truth.
Thank you.
Let's have a point of order. Apparently, the majority of the commissioners are okay with it, so get on with it.
Okay, well, to that, if I can call a vote? Call a vote?
The emotion.
Okay.
And I would like to take a second to address the complaints that the public hasn't had enough time to comment. Tamika mentioned the workshops that have been going on the last year. In terms of our own agenda, we had an introduction on this over a month ago at a meeting, I think in October, in exhaustive detail at the end of a very long meeting, as I recall. So I agree, Mayor Fasona said this is an independent initiative, it's unrelated to Senate Bill 236, and I am in support. So.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor, do we have a second?
Second.
So we have a second, is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries 4-1. Thank you.